How's it going, everybody? So, we're going to have a little intro here to the video tonight. There's been a lot of time that I've spent personally on my multiple channels trying to, I guess, get videos that will not get copyright blocked. And there's kind of something happening on YouTube right now. It's a little bit of a drama thing, but I just want you guys to go over and take a look at this, at what us content creators, and I don't really like that term, but the people that put content up onto the internet have to go through this crap all the time. This is a clip from Angry Joe, and we're going to have like just a quick discussion. I know not everybody likes him, but he does have a good argument here, and I would hope you guys can hear him out. So here we go. Let's check this out real quick.
This is just for you.
Just a quick context. He's done a episode 4 of the Halo TV show. He's been blocked 5 times by CBS, and this is covered under fair use law.
The CBS employee who is watching my channel right now, who are claiming my videos over and over with regards to the Halo review. I'd like to take this moment to tell you what you're doing is wrong. And if you claim this 4th edit, I think it's a 5th edit, if you claim this 5th edit, you are morally wrong, and I will fight you until the end. You will be opening up court proceedings. Send me the DMCA. Open yourself up for litigation. Because if you claim this video, that's it. There's nothing else. That's my only option. I have edited and edited and edited, which I didn't need to because this is protected under fair use. But I'm trying to play it under your rules, and your rules are bullshit, okay? And I won't let you push around any other channels. I won't let you push around our channel anymore. So let's see you copyright claim this video. Go ahead. Copyright claim this video. Let's see if you have it in you, because you know, I don't know what policies you're following, but whatever policies you're following that your boss has told you, they're wrong. They're straight up wrong. This content is being used for review and critique under fair use law, right? In the United States is where I am. Number 2, it is transformative. I have just transformed this content so much. We're not using any audio. We are transforming the visuals 100%. So the visuals aren't yours and the audio is not yours. You did not create those from the original. They are transformative. And the amount used is, that's taken into account in a court of law, the amount used is insubstantial. It is not enough for you to be claiming an entire hour-long video for revenue for yourself, which is what they're doing now. So this was just for you. For everybody else, here's the original video. But I realize since you are combing through my channel right now, that I need to have a personal talk with you. Cut it out. Fucking stop it. What you're doing is wrong. Cut it out. Okay? Because you're messing with the wrong person. I will blow this up, and we will go to court over this. So let's see if you where you think your rights are and where your copyright is. If you claim this one with all this transformative stuff on here and fair use 100%, I have no other options. This is my last option. So, ball is in your court. Go ahead. All right? And here is my original video that I filmed.
So essentially, what keeps happening, and I'll pull up Studio here, is we've even got on our channel, if you look at the content here, and I'll zoom in for you, is we've got numerous copyright blocks on content that all we're doing, and if you like look at this here, In My Feelings by Drake. And when I go look at it, and I've already disputed these, but they'll allow you to even trim out the segment. But there's been times I've even trimmed out the segment and it messes up. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. This is something that a lot of people who post stuff onto the internet, I mean, both Facebook and YouTube, the same thing happens. So just be aware of it. And, just know that it's not necessarily as easy as just putting up some React content on here. You have some stuff that you have to do on the back end. But what do you guys think? Mike, Schloobysnack.
I think YouTube just really needs to reevaluate itself and perhaps have a beer. Kick back, relax, chill.
For sure. Are you guys
I
ready?
mean,
Go ahead.
I personally kind of understand why they have the system in place the way that they do, because it's really difficult for them to actually, I don't know, gatekeep this without having some sort of algorithm or tool for copyright claimers to go through and actually claim like legitimate copyrights. But you have a lot of bad actors that are going through and abusing the system, and there's not enough tools for smaller like creators. Like, I mean, obviously Angry Joe's not a small creator, but compared to like CBS, he's small. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's not any tools other than him just trying to take legal action against this giant corporation available to him. He's just going to keep getting copyright struck. There's nothing you can really do about it other than just do what he did there, which is complain and like try and bring awareness to it.
For sure.
And YouTube does need to do more about that. I would agree.
I don't know if the same is still true or not, but okay, hang on. Ryusaki is saying Ryusaki wrote a piece of music that used a drum sample that came in GarageBand and used it in a gaming video. Someone out of Spain claimed the drum sample in the video. Wasn't even monetized.
Yeah, and I mean,
anybody can claim anything, and that's terrible.
Right. And I don't want to go like make this the whole episode. I just want to bring some awareness. I wanted to spend a few minutes here at the start. We do have an awesome episode for you today. But are you guys ready to get her started?
Roll intro, buddy.
Let's do it.
We're probably going to get copyright claimed for just showing Joe's video.
Probably. Let's roll that intro, guys.
I don't care about that I don't care about that
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast. My balls touch the water when I shit sometimes. Anyway, let's talk about the 90s.
Let's talk about the 90s. What do you got?
I got a lot of things, actually, but almost none of them are communicable. Oh, you were talking about the show tonight. Okay, that's cool. All right, so the first thing I wanted to bring up in the topic of the 90s is something that was released in 1990, very near and dear to my heart personally, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movies. No, not those ones. Shut up, Michael Bay is not good.
So, what do you want to bring up? What about
everything? Everything, man.
Which one's your favorite one?
That's a very good question because they all have something wonderful about them. Each and every one of them. Yeah. I would argue that the third one has the least good about it, but there was nothing bad about any of the first two.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I agree with you, White, that Venus was the best turtle. I would say that the best turtle was probably Razor.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but...
Oka and Razor, the wolf and the snapping turtle from the second movie.
All right.
Did you not watch those movies?
I did, but I don't remember them being called that. What?
I didn't know they had names.
They were some of the more original villains from the original cartoon and comic series. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and look them up real quick. Toka and Razor. Okay, Toka and Razor. They were the let's see. They were a snapping turtle and a timber wolf, I believe. Either way, they showed up in the original
I remember the timber wolf. I didn't know the name, though.
Yeah.
His name is Toka.
Toka.
Tokka.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, like,
anyway,
which is your Least favorite and why?
Least favorite member of the Turtles or least favorite person in the show?
I would say the lead. Well, you already kind of mentioned what. Why do you not like the third one?
Well, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that it did not have all the same qualities that the first two did. It was a little less comedic, for one thing, which kind of hurt it. And it got a little too serious. It didn't have as much of a lighthearted feel to it.
Yeah.
Which
The first two movies, whether it took on a serious moment, it was still lighthearted. It was still, how do I put this? It hit you in the way that any sort of conflict in a kid's movie would hit you, while still emotionally being there. If you see what I'm saying. Like, if you've
Yeah.
ever watched Pokemon, the first movie, for instance,
I
when
think I've
Ash
seen it.
almost died, I mean, that was sad. But
Yeah.
in the Ninja Turtles, it kind of keeps the idea, they're not going to get hurt. Because,
Yeah.
hey, happy endings every time.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember being in the original Pokemon movie as a kid, and when Ash becomes frozen as stone or whatever, I just remember the whole theater being full of like crying 10-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. Last time there was a room full of crying 10-year-olds is when I went to Catholic school. I mean, what about Optimus Prime White?
Optimus
about him?
Prime. Just a no context Optimus Prime. We know exactly what you're talking about.
He did have,
Oh.
well, no, I mean,
What?
I did not see those movies because I hate Michael Bay for reasons.
For reasons, huh?
Yes, for reasons.
Well, I believe you.
Similar, but
Those aren't
different
movie
reasons.
plots, Michael Bay. Those are just special effects.
I'm aware it's Michael Bay that I have a problem with. Slow motion, explosion, titties. Third one I'm not so mad about, but bouncing boobs, always nice. Explosions in slow motion, get tired.
Which so which Turtles movie is it that they are like at the house out in the middle of nowhere?
Out in the
Like
country, that was the first one.
that's the first one. Okay, yeah. Like one of
Yep.
them's like chilling in the tub,
Oh,
trying
he ain't
to
chilling in the
recover.
tub. He ain't chilling. He's near death.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Raphael was going through some shit, man.
Yeah. Very true.
They all basically got their ass kicked by Shredder, right?
Jay Matlick,
Essentially,
86.
yeah.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze podcast. Good to have you here, buddy.
Heck yeah. Nice to see you. So,
Can we see a picture of what these other characters like? I remember. I don't remember the snapping turtle one. I'd kind of like to see what that actually.
All
looks
right.
like.
I'll go ahead and send you one, Jason. I actually have it pulled up in a Google search.
okay.
Yeah. Tulka and Razor.
Throw it out here.
Shut up, CBR. I'm not disabling my ad blocker, you clickbaiting fuck. Tell you how I really feel.
Nice.
I don't know.
I thought you had this.
I do.
We're live, man. You got to be like pit crew
It's
fast.
right there. It's
you gotta
right
be pit
there.
crew fast, man.
I just sent it to you. You're the one that's being
You
slow
gotta be,
now.
You got to be ready to throw the freaking. Okay.
I
there
got to
we
be
go.
ready to throw my back out. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I figured you just had these pictures saved. In
I
your
mean,
local computer
If you're a
anyways.
'90s kid,
I do
that's
not.
that's a regular thing.
Okay, I remember. Okay, I remember these characters now.
Yes. Tulka and Razor.
I just didn't remember them by name.
Yeah. Tulka on the right or on the left and Razor on the right.
Well, you'll be forgiven this time.
Absolutely.
Weren't they like almost like infants too though? Like as far as
Yeah.
like mentally.
They
Yeah.
were babies, yes. And the
Yeah.
original cartoon that was actually expanded upon a little bit. I do believe there was an episode that was never put into full syndication in the original Ninja Turtles cartoon from the late 90s or late 80s that they were reverted to their original forms because they were given an antidote to the ooze that they were fed. and then they were still babies, and then they were taken in by some sort of zookeeper of some sort, I believe. And then upon that, he raised them, and then they escaped their enclosure, found more of the ooze, and when they were older, they became fully sentient and realized the error of their ways when they were babies.
That's a touching story.
It is.
I didn't
Touching.
realize the Ninja Turtles lore was so deep.
It can be very deep.
Yeah, if you look deep enough.
Yes. Yes.
If you go full shell.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Instead
Full
of half
shell.
shell.
Yeah.
I don't know about full shell. That would be awfully hard to move with.
Fair enough, but if you're a
Yeah.
badass, it's not a problem. I'm just saying. Facts, man. Facts.
It
Well,
would seem that Uncommon is trying to comment, but we're not seeing his comments.
My goodness. What?
That is
What?
quite sad.
That is quite
The
sad.
real Uncommon needs to be heard.
Well, now that we've had a chance to go over and check out some Ninja Turtles, we're going to go down memory lane a little bit here with some ISPs and some search engines. The old internet from the 90s. And this here is a CompuServe commercial.
Ugh.
CompuServe.
Hello. You know this place. It's big, it's moving, it's never the same. How do you keep up?
How
Why
do
is
you
that
keep
Earth
up?
not
How
flat?
do you plug in? Get global. Go CompuServe. Millions of people are already there. Tapped into cool places.
So if you don't know about CompuServe, here's another
sights
one.
to see.
We've got Prodigy. This one's a little more touching. It's got some acting in it.
If you own a home computer, stay tuned to find out how you
it's
can
got
get
really
a
bad
free
audio.
preview disc of Prodigy, the online computer service.
We'll be right back.
Created by a partnership of IBM and Sears.
You kids seem to be doing all right. Pretty fancy computer there. Want to give it a
Are
test
you
drive?
winning, son?
Me? Come on, Jack. I'll show you something absolutely super. Prodigy. Prodigy?
What Prodigy does is connect our computer through a modem with a fantastic range of services. Like banking, shopping, games, and stock quotes and business news. Updated all day long, just like the headlines, weather, and sports
That's a
are.
pretty nice
You see,
graphic for
you can
95.
really customize the Prodigy service.
It can follow just your stocks, huh?
Yep, and I trade online through a discount broker. Here's the
smack
bulletin
my
board
bitch
for my
up.
food and wine club. Check this. The Smart Kids quiz.
The kids use this?
Love it. One of the big reasons we got Prodigy. So, what grabs you? Travel. Here's England for starters. And we can find the
Wow.
cheapest available airfare and book our seats.
Say, how much does all this cost?
A lot less than you're thinking, Jack.
Unlimited
Jack.
access to the Prodigy service can be yours for only $9.95 a month.
There
That's
you go.
one
$10 a month gets you Prodigy.
So actually something that's really cool about this, there's a video that a guy did where he set up his own like 90s style ISP here like within the last couple of years and like set up the way it worked back then, like over POTS lines or whatever. And something that was interesting about the internet back then is you had a lot of like dial-up companies that you like when you connected to the internet, you weren't really connecting to like the internet as we know it nowadays. It was more just like their own private network that you would dial into, and they would provide their own websites with like tools like that you could get into, like the
Yeah.
travel tool and stuff like that. It was their own custom website that they provided, and then eventually they went through and started to expand it so that they would connect their networks with other networks, and the internet
cool.
expanded from there. But it's a very cool video. Should definitely check it out. We don't need to check it out in this video, but
Fair enough.
Right.
I got a
And we are joined, as ever, by my adorable kitten, Little Miss Lily.
we've got a Netscape Navigator from 1995. This
the
is
best
what-
thing about Netscape was always like just watching it when it would load that Netscape logo on the top right.
Yeah. I liked that logo. Pretty fancy. But yeah, I can't remember any specific. I'm pretty sure that I've been to Newgrounds on Netscape using Netscape Navigator. I've probably done like MSN Messenger on it before. Does anybody remember MSN Messenger?
Oh yeah.
The little emojis and all that.
Absolutely.
And here's just a few final kind of throwouts here until we move to the next thing. eBay came out in the 90s, so that's kind of like a 90s thing. Match.com. It's now owned by IAC along with Tinder and OkCupid, but it came out in the 90s.
Well,
MapQuest. Does anybody remember that? You'd have to print out a bunch of.
absolutely.
I mean, some people might still use it. Who knows? Amazon.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and I don't say this anymore, but for a long time, I used to say, you can tell somebody's over 30 if they use MapQuest.
Now
Pretty
ain't
much.
nobody used MapQuest.
Now it's either 40 or 50 or
Right.
Well,
they're not using it anymore. But MapQuest still exists, though. By the way, you can still use MapQuest.
Yeah.
I was actually about to look that up, but you ruined it.
Womp womp. Destroyed.
Yeah. But I was gonna try to squeeze something in there about Match.com
Okay. What's that?
because it's just kind of hilarious. The founder of Match.com, his wife left him for somebody that she found on Match.com.
Wow, it's convenient. I'm just saying. It's a good tool.
Yeah.
So last thing, WebMD was also from the 90s. But that's kind of memory lane on a little bit of the nuts and bolts of the internet from the 90s. A little bit of nostalgia, but Mike, what do you got?
Well, I mean, before I show what I got, I'm going to go to WebMD real quick. Just throw out any symptom, like 3 of them. Any 3 symptoms.
Runny nose, I guess.
Runny nose. Okay. Schloobs.
Blood in the stool.
Bloody stool.
Why are we doing this?
Because I'm on WebMD. I'm going to see what we have.
Here we go. Kenzie says headache, nausea, muscle cramps.
Headache, nausea, muscle cramps. Enter. We have cancer. All right.
Dang it. Hate it when that happens.
For it.
I hate it when that happens.
Sharp farts. You mean sharp like the tonality of it, or sharp like poke?
Why are we asking?
Because I mean, if your farts are sharp, then you know.
Imagine having like a pitch perfect ear and you hear somebody fart and you're like, that was
Ooh, a C
sharp.
plus.
A minor.
Let's leave Kevin Spacey out of this.
So, Mike, what you got next?
What I got next is a myriad of things, but I'll stick to one thing at a time. Jim motherfucking Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Yes.
Like which Jim Carrey? The masked Jim Carrey?
Just Jim
The
Carrey in general.
liar Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey in general.
Okay.
I mean, does Jim Carrey really play anybody other than Jim Carrey in his movies, though? It's just like a heightened version
have you
of
not
himself.
seen the number 23?
Okay, in his funny movies, I should say. He actually like Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind and like
yeah,
all the serious movies.
He's actually a
he actually can
very
act.
good dramatic actor. Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely. All right.
Oh,
So
we got to switch to. This is a good scene here coming up.
Oh, is it?
Honestly, this is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Jim
the
Carrey
birth
scene.
of the rhino.
I
Absolutely.
I died laughing seeing this the first time I ever saw it.
Oh, we're blocked
it's
on
having a
YouTube
big-
now for nudity.
The noises he makes.
Oh my gosh.
It's the miracle of life.
Mommy.
Classic,
But
dude.
yeah,
Classic.
very much a classic. And yes, Dumb Common, he did have the most successful debut of any actor, and that is provable point.
A provable
He,
point, huh?
Absolutely. His debut made him more money than anyone else than the history of cinema, as far as a debut film.
Huh.
Yes. At least as a leading man in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
So
Which
what
Have you?
leads me to my next point. Top 5 Jim Carrey movies, my personal opinion in no particular order. The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, and Batman Forever.
Are you sure about that last one?
Yep.
wow.
He was his best in Batman Forever. Or, well, not his
So-
best, but he was at his best.
I
in
actually
Batman Forever.
that movie is actually better because of him.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
I don't know if have you seen like his comments on the new Riddler and the
I
newest
have
Batman?
not. I have not.
So he personally isn't a fan, and I think he isn't all that. I think Jim Carrey was a better Riddler for his movie than I don't even know what the guy's name in the new movie is, but
Well, I think it's pretty still Edward. It's still Edward Nygma, but either way, I'm just going to go ahead and say that that new Batman movie. It has, from what I have seen, I have not seen the movie itself, but from what I have noticed in comments, reviews, and what, it has quite a bit to be desired. However, tell you what I desire. Catwoman, yummy.
so what I'll say about the new
Yeah,
Bat, I
yeah.
know this is getting slightly off topic, but what I'll say about the new Batman movie is that I think that Robert Pattinson would have made a way better Batman Beyond than he does Year 2 Batman.
I don't know. I mean, well,
Because
a lot of
even
well,
like because he's just so much smaller than I think Bruce Wayne ever was.
well,
And he
he's
also is a
smaller,
terrible Bruce
yes,
Wayne.
but well, I would argue that. I mean, Robert Pattinson can act.
Yeah, he's not
People,
bad. He's not bad in the movie. I just think he would have been better cast as being the Batman Beyond character, and then they could have gotten older Bruce
they
Wayne.
could have gotten an older Bruce Wayne, sure, but I mean, I feel like he had everything going against him going into it for the simple fact that nobody can disconnect him from the Edward Cullen.
I was looking forward to seeing him do it because I know the guy can act, and
He can definitely play the part, but I mean, I do see your point. He does look a little young and small.
it's not that he looks young. It's just he's not as intimidating as any of the other Batman.
I will. Well, I mean, he's definitely not as intimidating as Christian Bale. If you notice the whole screaming at one of the rigging guys, that audio that was called. Oh, good for you. Well, either way, yeah, Kenzie does have a good point there. He was also in Harry Potter, but we're getting off topic here.
Yeah, we are getting a bit.
Talking about.
I mean,
Jim
Harry Potter's
Carrey.
from the 90s. Isn't like the first books, weren't they? From oh no, I guess they were after, weren't they?
2001, I think. I'm
Okay.
not 100% on that, but either way, Jim Carrey as the Riddler was fantastic. But one point I have to make about that particularly was his chemistry off screen with Tommy Lee Jones.
Mhm.
Tommy Lee Jones fucking hated Jim Carrey. And when I say hated, I mean he was at a rap party after they finished up the first portion of the movie. And they apparently did rap parties after every act and then had like a week off of filming for each one. And at one of these rap parties, he approached Tommy Lee Jones in a bar and attempted to just make friendly with him as a castmate. And Tommy Lee Jones is quoted as saying, "I will not sanction your buffoonery," which has got to be the most polite way of saying "fuck you" that I've ever heard in my life.
Mhm.
Right.
I will not sanction your buffoonery. Yeah. Either way.
Well, and Tommy Lee Jones even came out and said that he only did the movie because it wasn't like his kid or his nephew or something like that was like, oh, you have to do that movie. So
Yeah, I
he
think it was a
he
nephew.
basically he just phoned it in. He was just essentially
Although-
did it because he was trying to.
Yeah. And staying off topic just a bit longer about Tommy Lee Jones, I think his personality in Batman Forever was far more akin to the Joker. He was erratic, he was wild, and he was goofy.
Yeah.
So
Kenzie, you've never seen the Bat Nipples?
the Bat Nipples, that's not Batman Forever though.
It's
Was it?
not.
No, that's Batman and Robin.
I thought that was Batman Forever.
The
I guess
bat
maybe that
nipples.
was-
Oh
No,
my god.
Bat Nipples is from Batman and Robin, and so is the Bat credit card.
Good to know.
The
That's
Bat credit card, which is absolutely fucking stupid, but I'm here for it.
Okay, that was Batman Forever. But yeah. Oh yeah, the Batman credit card. I remember that.
Yeah. Expires never. But anyway, about Jim Carrey here, to get back on the topic with absolutely no segue. Why do you guys think that Jim Carrey was just so beloved in his heyday? The 90s especially.
I think that he just had that type of, he fit the comedy bill then, you know, the kind of he's the next evolution of slapstick in my opinion.
I will
and
give you that.
He came out like in just one summer, I think it was, or 1 year. Like he came out with hit movie after hit movie. Like
Oh, he did. Well, there was like 7 or 8 of them in the 90s that really netted him a cult following as the best unknown comedian of his time before he really exploded. I think the second Ace Ventura was when he really hit the mainstream, even though it was just more of the same.
I don't think he had a bad movie in that era until he did Cable Guy. I think that was like
Well,
his first movie where it was like
The Cable Guy wasn't even focused on him, but he kind of stole the show.
and I'm saying that, not saying that Cable Guy was a bad movie.
It
Because
was
actually,
not,
I
by
love
any
that movie. And
stretch.
it's become a cult classic.
Yeah.
But that was like his first movie where people maybe didn't like. He started doing more serious roles, and I think people didn't
Yeah.
like what he was doing as much.
Well, it also had Matthew Broderick in it, and the only good thing that guy ever did was Ferris Bueller. JS. But I feel like he was just so popular because his brand of comedy hit so well with the demographic of like 18 to 32s, because it was just
What was that? What was that TV show he did in the 90s?
In Living Color.
Yeah, In Living Color.
That's where he actually got his start.
Yeah. Did you know that Fire Marshal Bill is in Liar Liar?
I did not.
So in the scene where they're pulling him off the plane or whatever, Fire Marshal Bill's in the background.
Heh, that's funny. So he played dual roles. All right. Let's go. Let's move on from Jim Carrey. Jason, what do you got?
So I'll admit I haven't seen a lot of this commercial, but this popped onto a bunch of top 90s nostalgia lists. So we're going to go just check out a few minutes here of the 1989 to 91 intros of G.I. Joe. So we're just going to kind of check it out, see if it triggers some nostalgia.
Dick.
Oh, man.
Never got into G.I. Joe myself.
For freedom, wherever there's trouble, G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, international heroes. G.I. Joe.
There we go.
G.I. Joe against the ruthless enemy, fighting to save the day. They never give up. They're always there, fighting for freedom over land.
We're going to get copyright blocked for G.I.
Oh, I
Joe.
guarantee that. But G.I. Joe hasn't been relevant since like 2007.
Was it on CBS? I can't remember.
I think it might have been.
I'm just saying, like, they got to get their money somehow.
Yeah.
Like, you're stealing money out of my pocket because we can't sell the DVD box set. So that was
if anything,
1989.
We're giving them free advertising right now.
And look how much it increased. Like, this is a way cooler one here, I think.
I do want to point out in that first commercial intro,
Yeah.
the singer on it, he was not putting in any effort at all. Like the singing, it was just terrible.
If you want to talk about a 90s show that had like a hardcore soundtrack for the intro, Power Rangers.
There you go. We'll have to check that one out.
I am absolutely going to disagree with that being the most hardcore intro, and I will raise you one: X-Men the animated series.
X-Men's pretty badass. You're not wrong. You're right.
Yeah. And then the SWAT Cats was fucking amazing too.
I don't know if I remember that one.
We'll have to pull those up. Let's check this one out. This one's more futuristic here.
Yes, it is.
You guys mind sending me a intro?
I'll go ahead and get those for you. If we're gonna get copyright claimed, we might as well go all out on it.
There you go. Dang, man.
Yeah,
This
I never
one's
watched.
Oh, they were holding hands in the star pattern. Defend freedom.
An evil organization bent on world conquest. The battle cry.
Yeah, I never watched G.I. Joe.
Why does
as
this...
a kid? I did enjoy, however, the Mortal Kombat cartoon, which was fucking horrible upon rewatching it.
Why does this guy that's talking here sound like he's purposely rasping his voice? Listen to this real quick.
To defend freedom. The threat, Cobra. An evil organization bent on world conquest.
It's almost like he's like with his voice. There we go. Very nice. So
It's still by Dick, though. I'm just saying, what company would name themselves after a phallic appendage?
Exactly. Anyway, here's the guy, and what was this from, Schlooby?
Oh, that's from Liar Liar. That was Fire Marshal Bill.
There you go. Fire Marshal Bill. There he is.
So that's Jim Carrey. And then like a second later, and so what's funny is if you actually watch the movie, like there's a dude back here who's just fucking laughing his ass off at Jim Carrey. Like that's an extra or something like that.
That's funny.
Oh shit, that was Cary Elwes? I didn't realize that the stepdad was Cary Elwes.
I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Who?
Wesley from fucking Princess Bride?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this next one is Power Rangers. We got to check that one out.
Yiggity.
Bandai is already ready to throw the.
They got the band.
They got a guy on at the Bandai headquarters just
It's like the Fresh Squeeze podcast went live. We
poised over the keyboard waiting to fuck us over.
7 years I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth.
Alpha, Rita's escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude.
You got like finger tapping going on in the background.
Yeah, this is way better than G.I. Joe.
Oh, for sure. Also, pause it. Doi Trang, the Yellow Ranger, she died in a car accident.
Yeah, right before 9/11, I think it was.
I think it was actually like a week before 9/11, if I remember correctly. But yeah, she died in a car accident, and it was very sad. She was easily the hottest, and I don't care what anybody says about Kimberly.
Thanks for being a downer, man. I was trying to rock out.
Well, continue.
There we go. We got to see that twice. Were they just hugging there?
Looked like it.
Yeah. So, since this is... What is this? Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I didn't.
was like,
I wasn't sure what
Oh, Ryusaki, I'm sorry to have mispronounced a name.
Oh
I
my
do that a lot,
gosh.
apparently.
Go say 3 Hail Marys.
I'm not a Catholic.
I know you're
not gonna lie, I wouldn't have been able to pronounce that
Hui.
just by reading it.
All right, so the next one we got. So I'm just saying that was definitely better than G.I. Joe's, in my opinion. Either of the ones we
X-Men
saw.
opening theme is really good.
Yeah,
The next
we
opening
got
theme
X-Men
is
next.
a hell of a good one.
Yeah, we
Bring
got
it.
X-Men next.
They go hard on this one.
Previously
Ready for my face to
on
melt.
X-Men.
Let's turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say Power Rangers hits a little bit harder, guys.
Yeah, I think the nostalgia in my head was trying to make that better.
Yeah,
It's still so good, though. It's still
Yeah,
slaps
it's not
so
bad.
hard.
It's not bad. I'm just saying.
One thing that's one thing's a shame with the newer X-Men like movies and stuff like that. They never brought Gambit into any of them. Like
Well,
Gambit is only
they
Gambit was
did,
a
though.
badass. And
They
what's
did,
that?
though.
Which one?
He was in
X-Men
one.
Origins.
Yeah, and the Origins.
The one that we probably shouldn't talk about.
Oh, you're talking about the really bad one. Yeah.
The worst one made.
Yeah.
That included Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but he alone
Okay,
saved it and made it watchable, at least.
I've like blanked that one from my mind. So.
Well, it had Gambit in it, played by Taylor Kitsch.
Wasn't there supposed to be a point in time where what's his face Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit?
Yes, there was supposed to be a Gambit origin story movie, but Taylor Kitsch refused to play the part, and Channing Tatum, I think, asked for too much money.
Let's check out this this SWAT Cats.
Got it.
Can't say I've really even seen this show.
It was kind of a niche cartoon, but it was fucking awesome.
This is pretty cool. It's good. Got like a warlock and a...
The show was very near and dear to me growing up for the simple fact that it was really, really cool. And it was more action-packed than the Ninja Turtles even was, the animated series. It was just awesome.
Yeah,
if it ever shows up on any streaming service, I'm going to watch the shit out of it.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right, the very last one I got for you here for the little intros is mentioned by chat. Thanks for the suggestion.
Indeed.
Animaniacs.
Little off key. Yeah, it's off key. Half step up. Am I wrong, Ryosaki? She says, Mindy, while Rita sings the verse, because you haven't why bother to rehearse. There's baloney in a box, and a mini, baloney and thingy.
Yeah, the version that they had there was kind of tinny. Sorry about that.
I wouldn't call it tinny. It was. I think it might have been pitch shifted to avoid copyright.
Yeah.
It could have been. That was the best quality one I could find.
Yeah.
However, I do vote we do one more. I think the Pokemon theme.
Before we do that,
Go ahead.
while the Animaniacs is fresh on the brain, I have got the animated intro from the new Animaniacs cartoon.
Okay.
Yep. Passing it through. Animaniacs theme song 2020.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, I watched it. It's on Hulu, and it's not terrible.
Fair enough.
Despite being in a modern mentality, it actually is pretty good with its jokes. I'm not gonna mince words.
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax, you'll laugh till you collapse. We're Animaniacs. Come join the Warner Brothers.
I'm not gonna lie, this is
Spielberg's
actually
doing this too.
Yeah.
Oh,
all the
this is
same
actually
actors.
kind of an improvement. Not gonna lie.
Animation quality is a little better, yeah.
We're Animaniacs. God has wit and yakko yaks. Wacko packs away the snacks. Our careers have made comebacks. We're Animaniacs. Meets Pinky and the Brain who wants to rule the universe. A brand new cast who tested well in focus group research. Gender balanced, pronoun neutral, and ethnically diverse. The trolls will say we're so passe, but we did matter first. We're Animaniacs. You should see our new contracts. We're zany to the max. There's baloney in our slacks. We're Animani, totally insane. Have no shamey. Animaniacs. Those are the facts.
Nice.
They
And
made
then
a
we've
lot of
got our
talking
last
points
one here.
relative to today's society, but yes, last one.
Last one here. Pokemon.
I mean, right out the fucking gate. This is like major power ballad shit right here.
Absolutely.
Is this the full music video? Yeah, this is.
It's got multiple intros in it. You'll notice when it stops.
3-minute intro though. Every morning on Cartoon Network.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going into the other one. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, though, like when they went to go make the intro for that TV show, who was like, all right, you know what? We need to make this fucking badass.
Yeah. This needs to slap. Needs to slap.
Jason Page was the original singer, by the way, and he did a duet of that original opening with a wonderful YouTuber whose name eludes me right this second. I had it in my brain. Theme hover, not by Jack Black. Jack Black did that. Oh well, Jonathan Young.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent singer. Check him out sometime.
Sure. So, Mike, what did you have next? We went on a really long tangent there.
We did, but I felt like it was worth it because we were hitting all the nostalgic talk points, and that's kind of the point of the whole show tonight, don't you think?
90s intro themes. That was a
Yeah,
good one, I think.
yeah.
Unplanned, but good.
Very unplanned, yes, but I'm here to talk about superhero movies. We're
Oh, God.
sashaying back into Batman. Just saying. And not just movies either, but also things like Batman, the animated motherfucking series, as part of
Okay.
it. Who all remembers that? Absolute best Joker, Mark Hamill. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The voice of, yes.
If anyone disagrees with me, they're automatically wrong.
I mean, he was really good in that for sure.
He was.
He
absolutely.
is the voice of the Joker.
100%.
Yeah.
And he is the only Joker that should ever be. If you say that Heath Ledger did a better job, then go back to Hot Topic, you fucking noob. Okay. Anyway, Batman the Animated Series also had a spin-off movie called Mask of the Phantasm released in 1993, and it is by far the absolute best Batman movie. Just saying.
Throwing out a lot of opinions here.
Well, yes, and no, Jack Nicholson was not the best Joker by any stretch of the words.
He was the
Great.
best campy Joker, maybe?
He was the best campy Joker, yes, I will admit that. Best campy Joker, just for the simple fact that he was... Jack Nicholson is just not a comedic actor, but he could do it.
He was a good campy Joker, but he was also kind of like a bit of a dark Joker too. He was like his version of the Joker was in a very campy movie, but he also was just very dark too.
Yeah. For sure.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think that the old you put down in a note here the goofy ass Batman movies. I don't know, man.
I did. We already kind of touched on those when we were talking about Jim Carrey.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Those ones, they were just silly as all hell. I mean, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze throwing out ice puns like they were free candy at a parade. I mean, goddamn, dude.
There are a few of them that were, but that's the thing about those movies is they're literally intended to be gimmicky to a certain extent. Like they wore their they just wore it on their sleeve, man. Like that was just what those movies were.
I don't know if they were so much gimmicky as they were trying way too hard to be just like the comics.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And moving right along here so we don't fall down another rabbit hole, I'm going to talk a little about Spawn. I'm going to save the best for last, but I'll talk about Spawn next. Spawn, for what it was all right. However, the CGI on it was almost as bad, even for its time, as the Scorpion King was in The Mummy Returns. That was unforgivable, and it makes me want to barf a little, but even so, in Spawn, if you haven't seen it, CGI is just horrifyingly bad. It really, really is. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Spawn, Malbolgia, CGI. All right. Yep, here we are. It's in HD as well. I'm going to go ahead and get the link to it, but yeah, either way, Spawn was still a fun movie, featuring Michael Jai White as the titular Spawn. It was a lot of fun, I thought.
I didn't actually watch it.
Time of it. I sent you a video.
I remember
link
it
with
being a
the
movie, but I
timestamp.
never saw it.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable to an extent. If you can get past the terrible CGI, then you might enjoy yourself with it. But
let's check it out here. You sent a clip.
So I did. I did. Absolutely. Almost looks like stop motion. but really, really bad. And this was in like 1998. And bear in mind,
This is literally a fever dream right now.
it absolutely is, but need to bear in mind, Lord of the Rings came out literally 2 years later.
Yeah.
And this was the state of things. And this was backed by Sony, Marvel, and Disney.
Can you imagine seeing this in theaters,
Goddamn
though?
silly. Oh yeah, it would be quite a spectacle. But yeah. Hang on.
Oh.
Honestly,
this makes The Rock and the Mummy look good as far as CG quality goes.
See, that's why I even brought that up. But the worst is yet to come. I promise. He just killed the Violator. Wait till you see Mal Bolgia. And here he comes.
Like, at points, it looks like they're using action figures. Holy shit.
Yeah. Pretty terrible, isn't it?
If you won't lead my army, then you must die.
Is this concept?
This looks like it was made by interns.
Yeah, it does.
Why was there
Dang, man.
multiple
So bad.
spawns right there?
Well, the story goes that he is a Hellspawn that was bred to lead the army of Hellspawns, and they are all Hellspawns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only spawn like lore I know is from Soul Calibur. Like,
Yeah, and Soul Calibur was
chat,
pretty
so.
good, and Soul Calibur 2 was my shit. Except I played it on the GameCube because Link.
Dang, that's a big gun.
It is.
Those people look like they were just told they were in a movie, like right before the scene started.
Yeah.
They were surprised, like, oh.
Yeah, kind of. They're like, whoa, who are these people?
Somebody just said action really loud. They're like, oh.
It's a fun movie for its time if you can get past the terrible computer graphics.
Fair enough.
This looks like a movie where practical effects might have been a better choice.
At some points in the movie, the CGI is actually better, but in that scene particularly, it was horrible. But yeah, the first time you see the Violator, who by the way was played to perfection by John Leguizamo, at the first point you see his true form, it's actually very well animated. But either way, moving on, like I said, best for last, Blade. With Wesley goddamn Snipes. Yep.
Snipes.
It was good.
Mr. Tax Evasion himself. It was very, very, very fun. The first two movies were great. I would argue that Blade Trinity was not anywhere near as good. But the first two were just fantastic. And Wesley Snipes was born to play that role. But I know they are redoing Blade for the MCU specifically. And he's played by, I cannot remember the guy's name's pronunciation, Mahershala, I believe, Mahershala Ali.
I'm not
Can't
sure.
remember exactly who he was known for being in Swan Song, Moonlight, a few others. What else was he in? Let me look here. He was in the Predators from 2010. He was in The Batman, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, The Eternals, Alita Battle Angel.
I've
Benjamin
heard of some of
Button.
those.
Alita Battle Angel is kind of a weird movie to me, but
It was extremely weird. But I didn't hate it.
so
But yeah,
which
Mahershala
Blade was
Ali.
it that had Ryan Reynolds in it? Was that the third one?
That was
or-
the third one, yeah.
Okay.
And that was before Ryan Reynolds was really even known.
Yeah.
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 In that movie, still, I feel like he was basically playing Deadpool, but
I mean, yes. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. There's no doubt about it. He is Deadpool through and through, even when he's not on screen or playing a character. And you just walk up and be like, "Hi, Deadpool," and he's like, "Oh, hi." I mean, that's not me. I'm Ryan. Yeah. Either way, fantastic films. Full trilogy is good. Third one, not so much. Anyway, to move on now. Jason, what do you got for us?
So, this was brought up by my lovely wife, Lisa Frank. Does anybody remember that?
Oh, God.
Here's a little TV spot about Lisa Frank. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing, but let's check out some of it.
I was not a girl in the '90s, so I do not remember
Toy
this.
makers are crossing their fingers, hoping they'll have the next Tickle Me Elmo on their hands. Lisa Frank's products are already must-have items for many young schoolgirls. Tony Guida tells us how the Arizona company captures its customers' hearts and their parents' money.
You are looking at the future of retail.
That was kind of on the nose.
And it
Let's
can
say that
barely
last one
see over the counter. She may
pretty
not
much
always
important.
have complete control of her things or hold them in the most traditional fashion, but do not underestimate the buying power of a little girl.
Last year, they spent $15 billion of their own money, and they're spending and influencing another 165 from their parents.
Staggering figures, particularly if you are the Tucson, Arizona-based Lisa Frank Company. It pulls in $250 million a
Lisa
year,
Frank's like,
catering exclusively
"Nice."
to the whims of 4
Gotta
to
start 'em out
12-year-old
early with that
girls.
consumerism.
We've been marketing
Yeah.
to them actually exclusively all of our life.
They market everything from feather boa plastic purses to brightly colored school supplies, stationery, activity sets, you name it. If a little girl uses it, chances are Lisa Frank makes it.
I love Lisa Frank products. And I
All
love
the
the
handsome
colors, and
posters.
it's colorful, and not everything's like everything's not just black. I just love it.
They
You're
love
gonna
the
be a
Lisa
Tiger
Frank
Beat
line so much, there's even a
poster in
Lisa
here
Frank
somewhere.
fan club and
Lisa
the
and
Lisa
me.
Frank website.
There
the
you go,
envy of
Netscape
many a web
Navigator.
market here.
We get 60,000 hits a day. That kind of equates to like 1 million hits a month.
20 years ago, two struggling artists, Lisa Frank and James Green, joined forces and started a sticker company. They sold their colorful concoctions to small stores all across the United States. But just when they
Y'all
were on the
behind where
verge
that
of
Lisa
striking it
Frank?
rich, the popular
I remember
sticker
those
market
sticker
came
things.
unglued.
We had like
Those look familiar, actually.
millions of units of stickers, and when the
That
bottom falls out of
shirt,
the
though.
industry, what are you going to do with all the
Oh,
goods?
she's-
So we
she's
started
rocking it.
packaging the stuff
Quintessential
for mass
90s.
market.
They also expanded their
she's the
line.
lady
From
who
stickers,
literally
they moved into
is
school
Lisa Frank,
supplies.
so I'm not
Just like
surprised by her
Starbucks
shirt.
turned a simple cup of coffee into a $4 a cup brand, Lisa Frank figured out how to charge four
$4.
times the going rate by turning basic pencils and notebooks into must-have items for school kids. Sales of her splashy colored goods took off at mass market outlets.
It's almost as if they had radar and were able to go into the minds of these young girls because they were really able to see exactly what these young girls are interested in and what they would buy.
Frank and Green, who are also husband and wife, say that radar comes from the marriage
These
of their
people are way
minds
too
and their
excited about
distinct
this.
personalities. Frank sticks to creating new products.
She understands consumers. She understands little girls. She's a little girl at heart. She's very in tune. She's probably the world's greatest shopper.
A lot comes from going to the zoo or just, art museums, reading
Anyway.
magazines from every...
So
Milk
Lisa
the shit
Frank.
out of these kids.
Yeah, Lisa Frank was a thing. I remember a bunch of girls in my classes, etc., that would buy like these notebooks with just Lisa Frank all over them. I mean, there were stickers, obviously, pencils,
Yeah.
you name it. I mean, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
I remember very specifically almost every girl in my 5th grade class was all about Lisa Frank. The entire room was colorful because of it, because they would put their stickers on walls, chairs, everything. And me particularly, I was creeped out a little bit by how shiny it was.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, so next up, what do you say we talk a little bit about The Crow?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Started as a
What
comic
about
book
it?
series by comic writer James O'Barr, and well, it held a very close place in my heart when I was a kid. I really enjoyed the action, the darkness of it all. It was a very, very, very good movie. The first one only, though.
Yeah.
The rest of them were just garbage, hot garbage on a hot tin roof.
Well, isn't there like the main actor died shooting that, right?
Yeah, Brandon Lee, he did. Uh, well, he
Bruce Lee's son, which is probably important
yes,
to mention.
yes, as I
but-
was about to mention that. He is Bruce Lee's son, was Bruce Lee's son. He was killed in filming by a prop gun that misfired and launched a chunk of debris at him. And it pierced his heart, killed him. He died like 2 days later, I believe, in the hospital.
Hmm.
And without him, the movie would not be anywhere near as popular, at least in my opinion, because it had very, very widespread media attention before the movie even released to theaters. It was meant for select theaters, but it got a far wider spread release than it was going to initially because of his death. It got so much attention that everybody wanted to see more about it.
Yeah.
And at this time, he was still an up-and-coming actor as well. He had only been in a few movies prior, one of which notably is Rapid Fire, which I personally believe is a pretty awesome movie too. But the actor who killed him by accident was Michael Madsen, or Madsden. Either way, Fun Boy was the name of the character.
Fun Boy?
Michael Massey, my bad.
Michael Massey. Okay.
Yeah, Massey. Massey.
Well, wasn't
One
the
that
actual
just threw the
obstruction
chair.
a bullet? Like, wasn't it that
No,
they
no,
fired like an
it
actual live
was
round from the gun and it had?
no, it wasn't a live round. That was far more recent, and it was
Well, no. So what I'm not saying that they fired an actual live round at him. What I'm saying is that they had previously fired a live round from it, and it became lodged in the barrel, and then they later on for this scene fired a blank, and the blank ended up pushing the obstruction all the way through.
well, it was a piece of debris from a dummy bullet, from what I hear. The
Okay.
dummy bullets are the ones that are fired to make it show impact when you shoot it.
Okay, yeah.
Prop gun on the film set, Eliza Hutton. Alec Baldwin was one that had a live round.
Yeah, that was like they actually fired a gun, basically.
Yeah, which, I mean, still very much an avoidable thing.
Right.
But I do absolutely see the parallel here.
For sure.
But Brandon's ex-fiance spoke out about prop gun usage in movies and such recently when Alec Baldwin had that mishap.
Okay.
And it was very sad when he died. I mean, I wasn't really cognizant enough to really know anything about it.
Yeah, me
Either
neither.
way,
So do you mind if I read this little excerpt here? real
have
quick?
at it.
So, in the film shoot preceding the fatal scene, the gun that was used as a prop, a real revolver, was loaded with improperly made dummy rounds, improvised from live cartridges that had the powder charges removed by the special effects crew. So, in close ups, the revolver would show normal looking ammunition. However, the crew neglected to remove the primers from the cartridges, and at some point before the fatal event, one of the rounds had been fired. Although there were no powder charges, the energy from the ignited primer was enough to separate the bullet from the casing and push it partway into the gun barrel, where it got stuck, a dangerous condition known as a squib load. And so then during the next scene, they fired that same gun with a blank round. So there was an actual bullet in it, but the bullet wasn't supposed to be in there because when they went to go fire that round, there wasn't supposed to be a primer that could actually like push that bullet into the barrel. And then in the next scene, they fired a blank, and that was enough to push the barrel or the bullet all the way through the barrel, and that's what shot and killed him.
So yeah, as I'd mentioned, dummy round. I couldn't remember all the details, but still.
I mean,
Also,
dummy
yeah, go
rounds.
ahead.
It still was an actual bullet, though. I guess. Is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm getting to.
It was, yeah. But either way, The Crow, upon release, affected culture in a lot of ways, notably goth culture. Like a lot of people took after it in the goth subculture. They took the makeup you saw with the eyes and lips. a lot further.
Yeah.
To the point of almost being cringe, but at the time it was counterculture.
Yeah.
And also, personal note here, The Crow introduced me to Pantera.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, Pantera is a pretty excellent metal band if you ignore their singer's politics off stage. Yeah. Either way, let's move on.
So
Jason,
I've got a few commercials here that we get to watch. These are all from the 90s. So let's give them a look.
Just a note here. I adored 90s cartoons.
We're down to the last Butterfinger.
The last Butterfinger! Aha!
Simpson going deep.
I remember this commercial too.
Get a crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery burst in every bite of Butterfinger.
Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
I'm trying to think of the last time there was a Simpsons Butterfinger commercial.
I don't watch
think
TV
Butterfinger
these days, so I don't know.
BBs were what brought about the end of those.
Is the most advanced in the universe. Let's review the numbers. Sega Genesis is 16 bits. 3DO is 32 bits. The Atari Jaguar is 64 bits. Which is more advanced? Clifford! 16 and 32 are less than 64. So with 64 bits, 3D graphics, real-world animation, and lightning speed that you can only get with Jaguar, which is more advanced? Clifford!
Can you repeat the question?
Jaguar! Jaguar! Jaguar!
Which one is going to fail the most?
The Atari fucking Jaguar.
It's a cheesy sound.
Except.
Oh, I remember this commercial.
Yeah, this
Me
commercial's
too.
a classic here.
While see Rex does the limbo.
What do you think, Chad? Are you getting some nostalgia?
Nostalgia, baby.
So take a cheesy locomotive. To a good time marathoni. Shout hooray, pepperoni.
Unironically, the CG in this is better than Spawn.
That's true.
Running swing here? I don't think so.
The 90s commercials for kids or whatever were just different.
Pure chaos.
Can you imagine if a commercial like this came out nowadays? People are like, what the fuck are they even trying to sell me?
Think so. Then where? I'm going DC at Discovery Zone, where I can cut loose and be on my own.
DC is made just for me. The place where I can really cut loose. It's all here.
Jump and tumble here? I don't think so. I'm going DC, where kids wanna be.
I've got the cheeseburgers, Carla.
Thanks, Ronald.
Rebel, I've got the cheeseburgers.
I lunch.
Rabble.
Rabble.
Over here.
Get back those burgers.
Catch me.
I'm gaining on them.
Bye-bye.
In here.
Peekaboo.
I remember this commercial too.
Follow those cheeseburgers. Whoa.
I'll get it.
Nope, I'll get it.
All right, here's the last
Ronald
one
McDonald
here.
so friendly in the 90s.
That's true.
Hey, it's that guy. He's like an actual actor now.
He was Finch on American Pie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get Titanic Monday, August 31st at midnight. Guaranteed to be there with a chance to win a fantasy cruise. Free limited edition
Wow.
Titanic print. August 31st at midnight.
There's still
Get
a one
Titanic
running
and go home.
blockbuster, right?
Yeah, there
There
is.
is, and they keep it open purely for nostalgia. Oh, there was one more.
Nah, we're not gonna watch that one.
Come on, man.
No.
Is Menards even like a thing outside of the Midwest?
Good question. Although I had seen a TikTok recently where a guy brought up Menards as a joke.
Oh,
Two girls
no.
had posted a video that were like, oh, we're here at Home Depot. Where are all the men at? And the guy's like, probably Menards. That's another hardware store, by the way.
Menards.
Menards. Yeah,
I was
there's
Googling to
Menards in
see
my
if-
hometown.
So
I was googling to see if that Blockbuster was still open, and it showed me result for the Blockbuster that we used to have here in town. It says permanently closed, and I was like, oh, I thought they were talking about the other one, but I was like, I already know that one's closed. You don't have to tell me that. But anyway, sorry.
Blockbuster was a quintessential 90s staple, 100%. Let's see. Dallas, Texas is where it was founded in 1985. David Cook was a founder. Huh. All right. I didn't get the same thing you got where it showed the nearest Blockbuster. Number of locations, one remaining in Bend, Oregon.
I think that's just because I live near where that Blockbuster used to be.
And it's franchised, too. So it could go bigger.
Agreed.
The remaining 1,700 stores in 2010 were bought by Dish Network.
That's funny.
Another failing company.
Yeah. A fail buys a fail.
It does.
So what do you got next, Mike?
What I got next is a movie that some of you may never have seen or even heard of. Mystery Men.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're trying to go for nostalgia, so hopefully somebody's heard of it.
I hope so. But Mystery Men, to me, underrated classic. All the way. Haha, Ryusaki has heard of it and loved it. It was amazing.
Yes.
100% amazing. It had an all-star cast, or star-studded at the very least. It had Kel Mitchell. It had Ben Stiller. It had Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, Janine Garofalo, William H. Macy, Jeffrey Rush, Greg Kinnear, all of the greats in that time period. Hang on a second here. I've got a video.
We already
a
video.
Well, a short one.
Oh.
It is pretty fantastic, and it points out my next point that I was going to make. This movie had Dane Cook in it.
Really?
Yeah. He is up front and center in that video clip I just shared to Jason.
Okay.
Give it a zap real quick.
Let's give her a look here.
Yeah. Oh, and that was Tom Waits, by the way.
Your name and power. I am the Waffle.
Danka.
With my griddle of justice, I bash the enemy in the head, or I burn them like so. Oh, don't do that. I also have my truth syrup, which is low fat, and I've been working on a theme song, kind of a Waffle Man! I am the Waffler, golden crispy, bad guys of history. Yeah! And I'm running, just think about it. Do you have a health plan, by the way? Maybe dental, eye?
Next.
Hi, I am Pencilhead.
And that's Doug Jones, well known for playing the parts of many monsters in many movies, including the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, as well as Pan.
I'm the Ballerina Man. Oh, I don't need to see that. Thanks.
I am. Copied me. You copied me. Did not fire.
Ladies, now let's play.
Oh, nice.
For some reason, this is reminding me that Ben Affleck played Superman back in the 90s, didn't he?
No. That was Christopher Reeve.
I am Screechy Man. Do you sense its power?
Yes.
PMS Avenger. I only work 4 days a month. Is there a problem with that?
No. Whatever you say. We'll get back to you. Thank you so much.
Whatever.
That's Avenger.
Yeah, I can't say that I ever saw that one, but I'll have to
Yes.
check it out at some point.
Ryusaki, she's with me on this. Positively a classic film. Very much a wild movie. And just positively hilarious. Also.
That was in 2006, by the way, what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Well, he
He
played
played it in a
Batman.
really obscure movie, like for like 2 seconds. He wasn't really playing Superman. He was playing a guy that played Superman.
Oh.
But he's like in full blown like Superman attire.
Oh, did not know that.
Hmm.
He's been all over the board with superheroes. Superman, Batman, Daredevil. Either way. Moving on to the next portion of this, I feel like there really should have been a sequel.
A sequel,
Just
huh?
personally. Yeah, but let's scoot on forward here.
I just got a quick one here.
Oh.
Just a little nice nostalgia hit here is the Mad TV intro.
Shout Factory TV, changing the
So 1996.
Oh, Orlando Jones was in that?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh shit, Artie Lang. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mad TV.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Definitely good stuff, but I didn't realize Artie Lang and Orlando Jones were in that. I mean, that was a little before I really watched Mad TV. I watched it a little more in the later days when it had Will Sasso and Aries Spears in it,
Yeah.
and Bobby Lee. Key and Peele was pretty great, but that was in the 2000s. Chappelle's Show was in the 90s, though, I believe.
Yeah, I think no, it was in the 2000s.
Yeah, I think that was early 2000s.
That was early 2000s, for sure.
I can't say for certain though. Like that one, I need to look
Chappelle's
up.
Show aired. Yep, 2003.
But
You were right.
like I said, a short one for Mad TV.
Yeah.
What do you got next, Mike?
Right. Well, next up, I'm going to change gear a little here. Move on to some comedians from the 90s.
Okay.
Bill Hicks. Let's start with Bill Hicks.
All right. So I got
Either of you heard of Bill Hicks?
Yeah, I've heard of Bill Hicks.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, okay.
When you see him, I think you'll probably be like, "Oh, it's that guy."
Maybe not. Maybe not. He was kind of niche for his time, but he gained popularity after he died.
Sure.
So go for it.
There is a point. Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. Is there a point to my act? I would say there is. I have to. The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride, and we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace.
So that was Bill Hicks, not one
That
of his
was
more.
indeed Bill Hicks.
So,
Not one of his better known bits, but
well, that was the thing that was kind of unique about him, is that he was willing to kind of get philosophical about it too.
absolutely. And in all honesty, I would classify him almost more of a motivational speaker than I would a comedian in some cases.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed more like commentary than comedy.
Yeah, social
but-
commentary than comedy, but he peppers in some pretty great jokes as well. But what made him truly different, in my opinion, was the fact that he was so cerebral with all his jokes. He was very, very learned on all of the topics that he talked about, and he had a lot of excellent ideas, like that point he made at the very end of that clip. Cut back military spending and spend all that money instead on people, and not a human being in the world would be excluded, and I think that still rings true today.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Now, as far as his impact on comedy, I feel like, well, all of the other greats that you hear about, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, he's right up there with them in the fact that he changed comedy a lot.
Yeah.
Even though he died early 90s,
Yeah.
Sam Kinison was like, for me,
he,
somebody who I knew a lot during the 90s.
Sam Kinison worked with Bill Hicks an awful lot. The two of them were oftentimes touring together and everything. And Sam Kinison actually said he owed a lot of his career choices to Bill Hicks. Yeah.
Whoops.
Oops.
Do we have a laugh track now?
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't know if that was the
laughed
appropriate
right
I
time.
for
didn't
you.
say anything funny.
I don't know if that was the appropriate time for the laugh track, but
You're right.
I mean, here's a child with cancer.
for some reason that reminds me Sam Kinison was on Married with Children. The only reason
Was he?
Yeah, the only reason I found that out was because I started watching Married with Children again recently. Just
I need to
nostalgia's
rewatch
sake,
that
but
show. But
he shows up in it.
Who did he play?
So he is in he's in like this episode where they do like a Christmas time or Christmas past like type movie or TV show where he's basically like a ghost that takes Al Bundy along and is like showing him what things would be like if he was dead.
Oh. All right. I mean, well, Sam Kinison, I never really got hugely into his comedy. All I really remember specifically about him was the fact that he was very, very yelly.
Yeah. I mean, that's his whole stick.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you look up comedian that yells a lot, Sam Kinison comes up.
Completely. All right. Jason, what do you got for us next?
So next, I've got a 90s, I was about to say love child, but I wouldn't necessarily say that Brendan Fraser is a 90s love child. He's a 90s cherished
I mean, you don't know his
actor.
parents.
He's a cherished actor from the 90s, and I have pulled up here IMDb of all of his movies from the 90s. So we're going to click on a few of these. So he started off apparently Child of Darkness, Child of Light, some sort of a TV movie guy here. And then from there we kind of go a couple others that I'm not sure of, but here's I think his first starring movie was
Encino Man's the fucking shit.
That is
It's the shit, absolutely. It's an
Pauly
excellent
Shore.
movie.
Well,
From Hollywood Pictures, he's a caveman who just stepped
Huh?
into the 20th century. Now, two guys from Encino
slowly getting louder
are going to teach him to be normal.
That's boring, dude. Normal. We're going psycho with him, bro.
Shut.
Sexy
Encino Man. I'll be back. Rated PG.
That's a really classic 90s movie right there. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm just saying
absolutely.
it would be tough for you to hate on Encino Man and be a fan of the 90s.
I mean,
Just
Yeah.
saying.
George of the
Just
Jungle is
saying.
also a big 90s
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
I
that was a fun
think,
one.
right here. 97.
Yeah.
97.
I mean, based on a cartoon that was not anywhere near as popular as its Tarzan counterpart, but yeah, it's still a very fun movie.
Hmm.
Featuring Thomas Hayden Church as well.
See if we got it. There we go. A little spot with the
What's
No
her name
sound,
again?
though.
I just have
Jane.
the sound off right now. But that's another
Oh,
really
wait, no. Ursula was her name.
that's another pretty decent one from the 90s. Brings back a lot of memories.
Oh, for
And this is
sure.
all from just like this one guy here. We got obviously The Mummy here from
Oh, yeah.
1999. You can't go wrong with that.
Absolutely not. The Mummy was a great movie.
Excellent movie. So just a
Alman
lot of
actually
stuff.
kind of does. Alman does kind of bring up a good point. Pauly Shore is pretty big in the 90s too.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, Pauly Shore never got anywhere after the 90s.
We'll have to maybe come back and do another 90s episode, because there's going to be, after I've started doing the research on this, it really kind of became apparent that there's way too much to share from just the
There's
90s.
almost like there's like 10 years worth of stuff that happened.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's
Almost.
it's interesting how much nostalgia specifically there is, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a ton of it. There really is.
But Mike, you had another comedian that you wanted to talk about?
I do, actually. Mitch Hedberg.
Heck yeah.
Who
Oh my
among you have
God.
heard of him? He
I've
was
heard of him. He's good.
hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is hysterical.
I just want to see a forklift lift a pallet of forks, because it would be so goddamn literal.
Yeah, but he actually had an unreleased album that was released sometime after he died, and nobody knew about it.
Really?
It was just stewing on YouTube for a while. It's called "Do You Believe in Gosh?" And it was him at his best.
Yeah.
Really, and it's all on YouTube, full video or playlist form. Go ahead and pop one on here. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
So I've got a clip over here already.
Oh,
that we can watch. Of
go
it.
for it. Go for it.
They didn't have any.
Oh, he doesn't have
pretty good-
sunglasses on this one.
I'll bring that up in a minute.
From a steel beam. I just want to put some back together. I had another line, but it's too late. You clapped too long. The rhythm is over.
It's kind of weird he doesn't have a mic.
I want to open up
in
a
his
chain
hand.
of pizza restaurants called Mitch's Pizzeria. Not because I excel at making pizza, I just think Pizza Hut is cocky and they need to be taken out. They're advertising that they're going to accept all competitors' coupons. So if Mitch's Pizzeria was going on, I'd print up a coupon that said, unlimited free pizza. Special note, coupon not good at any of the Mitch's Pizza locations. Free pizza oven with purchase.
What?
Of a small Coke. I was born in Minnesota. That's where I was raised, Minnesota. That's why I left, too, because of you.
Where he died. Yeah.
That's kind of stupid.
Had to be
But when I was
depressing.
18, I was kind of sick of living there, so my friend Tim and I, we packed up his Volare. We moved from Minnesota to Florida. We wanted to move to Texas, but the front end alignment was bad.
Nice.
I hooked up with a roommate down there. His name was Eddie. Eddie was kind of slow on the mental draw. I was writing a letter one night. I had a problem. I said, Eddie, how do you abbreviate Arkansas? He said, I don't know. Just start spelling it, then quit.
Some of this I've never heard.
That's some classic Mitch there. But
Absolutely.
Ducks eat for free at Subway.
Yeah, that's another classic line from him.
Club sandwich.
Well, you're not in a fucking club.
How do you feel about furry toothpicks? I'm for them.
How about we cut all the sandwiches into triangles and arrange them in a circle, and in the middle we will dump chips. Or potato salad. Yeah, man. Mitch was the fucking man.
Yeah.
Now, he died of a drug overdose, and that is very, very sad.
Yeah.
But,
so the only reason why I mentioned him passing away in Minnesota, because I lived in Minneapolis at the time.
Oh.
And I remember hearing that he passed away, and I lived in Minneapolis too, and I was like, holy shit. But anyways.
Yeah. He was so brilliant in just his execution. Just the way he executed all the jokes that he did was just perfection.
That's one of the few videos I've seen him not wear glasses or sunglasses while he's doing his
right,
because he had like crippling like stage fright.
Yeah, and he wore the sunglasses so people wouldn't see him blinking so much because he was terribly, terribly stage frightened. And I mean, getting in the wrong business if you have major stage fright, but boy, did he pull it off.
Yeah.
Boy, did he ever. All right, Jason, what you got for us next?
Another just quick nostalgia hit here. Does anybody remember Tamagotchi?
Oh, fuck, I need to feed my...
Well, if it isn't Tamagotchi, her new favorite pet.
Yes!
So what's that make me, fish sticks?
Oh, are you hungry?
Oh, no. By all means, feed it. Play till your heart's content.
Look, Goldie! I took good care of her, and she changed again.
Change? How about changing some water here?
Katie, bus is here.
So Tamagotchi can pause. I can pause too. Want to see that again?
Hatch a Tamagotchi, the one and only from Bandai, each sold separately.
So, Tamagotchi, do you have one?
I mean, mine's dead now, but...
Except mine was actually a Gigapet.
Oh, okay. Did you have the Pokemon one, though?
No. Wait.
The Pikachu?
The one you had to shake? Yeah.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Pikachu.
I forgot there was a Pikachu one.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to mention, I think that commercial would have been a lot more accurate if at the end of it, they just showed like the goldfish dead and the kids still like feeding their Tamagotchi.
Mom, my fish died. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, just being oblivious to it, they're more focused on their digital pet than their real pet.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, Mike, you got one final comedian here, right?
That I do. George M.F. Carlin.
George M.F. and Carlin, huh?
Absolutely. The man, the myth, the legend, and the one, the only, irreplaceable, George Carlin.
Okay. Well, I've got a clip here, and the reason I decided to pick this clip is because, well, you'll just see who's going to introduce George here for his bit.
Is that Urkel?
From the
Nah,
60s
I'm
all
kidding.
the way into the 90s, this man has kept us laughing with his unique brand of humor. Please welcome George.
That's as loud as it goes.
With that flat top, he does kind of look like Urkel, though.
That's the guy from the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How you doing? Hey, nice to see you. Listen, I'm here to exploit this war. I'm here to exploit this war. War is good for business. Just take a look at the stock market, so I'm here to exploit it just like everybody else in this country. Best thing about this war, it's on every channel. And every channel has a slightly different war. Do you notice that? If you don't like the way it's going on Channel 2, try Channel 9. Maybe your side is winning over there. And the ratings are good. The ratings are good for the war. We like war. We're good at it. We're a warlike people. This country is only 200 years old, and we average a major war every 20 years. 200 years old, 10 wars. Do the arithmetic yourself. We are a warlike people. We are perfect children of Europe. We're fort builders, land grabbers, and bomb throwers, folks. We're not happy. We're not happy unless we're dropping bombs on some helpless civilian population that has no argument with us whatsoever. No argument with us whatsoever. We are bomb throwers. And when we're not dropping
Arsenio
high
Hall.
explosives,
That's that
when we're
guy's
not
name.
dropping high explosives on some small nation that only has a marginally effective air force, then we're declaring war on something at home. We love to declare war on something at home, don't we? Anything we don't like about ourselves, we have to declare war on it. We can't get rid of this war mentality from our public life. We got a war on poverty, war on crime, war on cancer, war on litter, war on drugs. Did you ever notice we don't have a war on homelessness? No war on homelessness. You know why? You know why? I'll tell you why, because there's no money in it. There's no money in that problem. Nobody stands to get rich off of that problem. You find a solution to homelessness where the businessmen and the politicians can steal a couple of $1 million each, you'll see the streets of America begin to clear up pretty fast. I'll give you a couple ideas. Listen, I got a couple ideas for homelessness. First thing we ought to do, give the homeless their own magazine.
What?
Give them their own magazine. That's a sure sign of making it in this country. Every group in this country that makes it gets its own magazine. They got Working Mother magazine, Black Entrepreneur magazine, Hispanic Business magazine. Any activity engaged in by more than 4 people in this country gets a magazine devoted to it. Dart throwing, backpacking, basket making, boating, hiking, walking. Walking! There's actually a magazine called Walking! Look, Dan, the new Walking is out. Here's a good article, putting one foot in front of the other. Give them their own magazine, you know?
So that's some classic Carlin. One thing that I would say, we try our best to not get quote-unquote political, but you can't pretty well show Carlin and it not be at least slightly political. And that was one thing that he was always about. But that's why I liked him.
I truly believe he would have made an excellent president.
The way he brings up politics, though, like it's almost you have a hard time disagreeing with him.
Yeah,
it's very, he's on.
He
point.
makes good points.
Looks like a kind of a tiny guy. I mean, well, like he looks like a smaller guy in general. I get that he's older there, but
George Carlin height.
I was literally about to Google that. I was just kind of curious.
5'9".
That's something.
5'9".
Oh yeah, that is short.
I mean, well,
no, I mean
Don
not
Rickles
average.
was 3 inches shorter.
About average.
I'm not trying to height shame here or nothing. My bad.
I mean, yeah, height shaming is bad. Yes. Right. How do you guys think he would react to society of today in the current political atmosphere?
Oh God.
I think he'd have.
He would have a new
He's probably
special every
literally
month.
spinning in his grave, honestly.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and paint it in a colorful way that he probably would do. He'd be spinning in his grave so fast that if you dug him up and put him in a generator, he could power all of Uganda.
It's funny you say that because I was literally thinking, like, yeah, you could probably just make a power source out of him, but.
Yeah, all right. So let's move on to the next portion of it. Jason.
All right. So this one is kind of just a look at the Billboard chart. And this actually goes to 500, but we ain't doing that. We're going to do the top 50 according to Billboard.com. 90 songs.
I don't know any of those.
Oh, come on.
When was the last time Janet Jackson did anything other than the Super Bowl?
Pop a titty out in the Super Bowl.
So we know No Diggity.
No Diggity, yeah.
I'm not really sure
Puff
about
Daddy.
it.
Can't nobody hold me down.
Old
I don't remember
Madonna.
that Madonna song.
Don't Speak. That makes sense.
I know Don't Speak, yeah.
Mariah Carey was a thing in the 90s?
Bette Midler. Wow.
Mariah Carey got her debut in like 1993, I think.
Was it really? Huh.
I think so. I want to sex you up.
Yes, Wilson Phillips, dude.
Yeah.
That is... Wow.
Mariah Carey's been around longer than I thought she was.
The
Heck
Goo Goo
yeah.
Dolls.
There you go. That's a pretty classic 90s.
Everybody
Waterfalls,
dance
of course.
now.
Creep.
Yeah. Don't go chasing.
We've got You Make Me Wanna.
I didn't realize
Wait,
Usher
Usher in
was
the
in the
90s?
90s.
Yeah.
Really?
Are we sure this is...
Yeah.
Percent sure on that? I mean, fuck. It's Usher. His debut
Sinead O'Connor,
was...
which she kind
Oh,
of
I guess...
canceled
yeah,
herself
that's-
technically, even though I think her message was accurate.
Very accurate. Fight the real enemy. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're Still the One by Shania Twain. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Whoop, there it is.
You know, I've seen Paula Abdul on America Has Got Talent or American Idol, whatever the fuck it is she's on. I didn't actually realize that she was ever popular.
I
to see her on
me
this
neither.
list.
Candle
neither.
in the Wind when Princess
God.
Diana died. Oh my gosh.
I just want to mention Whitney Houston's on the list too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a classic right here.
Everything I do it for you.
Yeah. I should karaoke that one.
Do it.
It's kind of a... And
A
then
Macarena.
the best one,
Macarena.
the very best one,
Smooth.
period, is Smooth by Santana, featuring Rob Thomas. Of course.
I'm going to be honest with you. Without hearing the songs, I knew precisely 4 of those from the point you started this page.
Well, that pretty much makes you a sausage.
Well, it
I
doesn't
know who
make me a
Leanne
sausage.
Rimes
It
is,
means I
but-
listen to music that wasn't on the Billboard.
I can't say that I know that song that was on there, the Leanne Rimes song.
Well, either way, it's weird to see what music has done recently.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
So for our final topic of the night, going down memory lane, what is the most influential internet thing that came from the 90s, Mike?
Anybody in chat want to hazard a guess what it is before I say it? On the internet, every middle schooler and high schooler knew what it was.
Albino
Come on
Black
now.
Sheep.
Ryosaki, come on. Close.
Close. Yes.
What do you think it is, Ryosaki?
Bum fights.
Bum fights was not an
That was in
internet thing. It
2000s.
was
Oh, was that
also,
2000s? I thought that was
also a
90s.
felony.
That was in the 2000s. But
Okay,
go ahead
I'll
and let the
just go
cat
ahead
out of the
and say
bag,
what it
man.
I mean, she's not in a bag. She's laying over in her bed.
Well, good.
Oh, okay. Newgrounds.com.
Newgrounds.
Fucking Newgrounds.
Heck yeah. And who made that?
Tom Fulp made that. And I'm going to point this out. It was the first time I ever saw titties in my life.
Nice.
You threw a D in there, didn't you?
I might have.
It's a possibility. But
Mm.
there's
Somewhere
a
between-
little bit here
somewhere
we
between
have
the W and the G.
Tom Fulp.
Many people talk about the history of Newgrounds, but in reality, this encapsulation of history coincides with the man who started it, Tom Fulp. Tom Fulp isn't mentioned as often as he deserves when we talk about the history of this revolutionary website, which doesn't make any sense because his name is almost synonymous with it. So, let's actually give some credit to this shaggy haired
furry.
luminary. Tom Fulp
He
was
was like
born
one
on
of the
April 30th,
first
1978.
like
Tom
indie
originally
developers
came up
to
with
get a game
Newgrounds
published
when
on
making a
Xbox, by the
Neo
way,
Geo
the Alien Hominid stuff.
Oh, yeah. Alien Hominid was, and Castle Crashers, too.
And Castle Crashers, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, those were
or
originally
Fan Magazine
from
in
Newgrounds.
1994. Newground is actually an anagram for Neo Geo. During high school, he started work on a new website
Not
called
an anagram
Newground
for Neo
Remix in
Geo.
1995. He would later add his
He
two
doesn't know what
funny
an
web
anagram
games,
is.
Club of Seal and Assassin, in 1997. Later, he would attend Drexel University in Pennsylvania, but dropped out to work on Newgrounds full-time. He would finish his education 2 years later. He would also go on to form The Behemoth, the game studio behind Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers, and Battle Block Theater. All of these games contain a huge amount of influence from Neo Geo games. Alien Hominoid is just a Newgrounds Metal Slug, so Tom Fulp still has his Neo Geo roots in making some of these arcade-like games. But before all these top-of-the-line indie games, he had some extremely influential games that he made in 1999. The most influential of all Tom Fulp's works is Pico
I forgot about
School.
the Pico series.
Pico School is a game about
Yes.
escaping a school shooting.
My
while
life's a
also
lie.
potentially doing it, depending on your moral compass and your play style. This game at the time was unprecedented because of how it exceeded the capabilities of Flash 3.
Oh, nudity.
Tom Fulp has this to
you're gonna
say.
put a blur on
This
that.
year also saw the introduction of Pico School, hailed by many as the
This is
pinnacle
on
of
YouTube.
Flash 3 programming. I
Yeah.
say that in quotes because
I think
Flash
you're
3
alright.
didn't offer in much terms of programming. It didn't even support variables. I came up with a very complex workaround for tracking events and data, making Pico the most advanced Flash 3 game I am aware of. It wasn't until Flash 4 that variables were introduced, and Pico would have been much easier to make. Pico School was a defining moment in Flash game history. It shined light on the future of Macromedia and Adobe Flash as a game development software. Mind you, this was 1999, and this was exceptionally complex for what it was being made in. You could only imagine how people would be mesmerized at the capabilities it held within, inspiring them to try and make their own. The technical importance of Pico School is noted, but it is also cited as starting one of the most recognized icons and mascots of Newgrounds. Pico as a character has a very important place in the lore of Newgrounds. Besides Tankman, Madness, and Clock Crew, this character is probably the most recognized icon from the website. This is cemented by Pico's facial expressions being used for their rating system user interface.
Yeah,
seen
I
here.
remember that now.
Pico has also been featured in 10 games and 5 movies on the portal. In conjunction with all of this, there is Pico Day, which is specifically to celebrate icons and mascots on the website. This means there is tons of fan submissions involving Pico for the annual contest that is held on the website. Pico Day has been a tradition since 2006 and still goes on to this very day with new entries celebrating this website.
So this is
Tom Fulp's works are revolutionary
past the
for the
90s,
time, but also controversial due to their violent and brutal nature. This may be due to his rebellious nature, seeing as he has some vitriol towards education and school. Well, at least this attitude was present throughout most of his adolescence. This little tidbit isn't inconsequential, because Tom would take this attitude and form it into Newgrounds, at least as an identity. You see, Newgrounds isn't just a website, it's a response to the hard entry
Get out of
point
my
for
car.
animators and game designers around
Yes.
the time. In
We
order to
already
become a
went over
full-time
that.
animation
Yeah.
worker,
Didn't realize
you would
that
have
was
to go
on
to an
Newgrounds.
amazing school and have some extremely close networking options. This also applies to game development. Newgrounds is the independent creator's gateway into these fields. It gave
There's a
tons of
screenshot
talent
on there that
we know
reminded
today
me
a
of
chance to
Ego
show their
Raptor,
work
by
to
the way.
world
Yep, oh, there it
regardless
is.
of
Ego
their level
Raptor
of
is actually
education.
got his start
This
on
indie
Newgrounds.
mentality rang
Yep.
true throughout
Yep,
the
and now
website,
he's known for
and
Game
even
Grumps.
today because of sticking to its roots. Tom Fulp's ingenuity allowed a generation of creators to show their talents to the world, but it was also a great place for any type of expression. Newgrounds isn't just limited to its types of content. You can find family-friendly things on here, but also the complete opposite of it. Throughout time, this hasn't changed. Tom Fulp refused to take down a lot of content that the media and even politicians pressed him to do. In case of the suicide bomber game made by Fabulous 999, which I talked about in my previous video,
Fabulous
Tom Fulp
999
may
is
have
funny
not
as
agreed
shit.
with the arbitrary offensiveness of the game. Also consider that 2002 was a very different time. But he allowed the game because he wanted
Phoebo the
Fabulous
Cat was
999
one
to
of my
showcase his
favorites.
work, despite
There's
how
no
bad
way
it
a
might
game
have
like
been.
Pico could come out nowadays.
Newgrounds is
Oh,
essentially
no.
a philosophy
Not at
for the
all.
independent-minded.
Half
All you
the
need is
shit
the
from
tools and
Newgrounds
the know-how.
Classic it would not fly today.
No.
Half of it would not fly at all, and the other half of it, maybe.
for sure.
I also know that, well, if you are a purveyor of pornography, as I am, Zone, if you know Zone, if you know, one of those situations. She got her start on Newgrounds as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of creators on Newgrounds that aren't getting recognized as Newgrounds creators. As mentioned, Ego Raptor was a big one on there.
Ego
Every
Raptor
member
literally his
from-
first video on YouTube was explaining why he didn't post his videos on YouTube because
Yeah.
he felt Flash was like on Newgrounds provided him way better quality of video, and then eventually
Absolutely.
he started posting to YouTube. But
Yeah, absolutely. But then there's also all the guys from fucking Cyanide and Happiness. They all
Yeah.
got their start on Newgrounds. Before they even did comics, they did stick figure movies,
Yeah.
which were hysterical.
They were quite good.
Yeah. It definitely was an icon of the 90s.
For sure. Well,
All right.
that was a really fun episode. Mike, do you have any advice?
Wash those goddamn balls. Use dial soap.
Dial
because
soap
it was popular in
specifically.
the 90s.
What about you, Schloobysnack?
well, I know I usually end this with a comment about Pete Davidson. I actually want to kind of change this a little bit. I'm going to talk about Scott Davidson.
Scott Davidson.
And this is not so much a joke, but I kind of discovered this after doing a little bit of research. I've said a lot of stuff about Pete Davidson that isn't necessarily true. This is something that is true, though. His father was actually a firefighter during 9/11, and he lost his life trying to go up the stairs of one of the Twin Towers. And so Pete Davidson's dad is actually a hero from 9/11. So
Absolutely. But I mean, Pete was also born in the 90s, 93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to mention that if I'm going to post a link to the Secular Therapy Project. They're an organization dedicated to identifying psychiatrists and psychologists in your area who are interested in pushing you a religious doctrine during your time of need. And if you are, in a case where you have or suspect you have a mental illness or are, have one, please seek help. We don't want to lose any more wonderful people like we have, over the years to suicide. So check that link out if you're feeling like you need those services. But this has been a really fun episode. I really liked the some of the tangents we went on. We got some pretty cool stuff. And if you are checking us out, please consider hitting the like, follow, subscribe buttons wherever you're watching us. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
Davidson is a 90s kid.